Hey guys, I'm Richard, and this is April.
And we're talking toolkit. We've got a few questions in this bowl, and we're going to see if we can answer them at pace. We've only just got our heads around the current toolkit. Are we going to have to start from scratch again?
Well, the first thing to say is I don't think learning the new toolkit, if you are familiar with the current toolkit, is going to be starting from scratch at all. There's a lot of mental models that will stay the same. There's a lot of ways that the new toolkit works that is basically built upon the existing foundation of things that work well in the current toolkit. So there's lots of it that's going to be familiar. It's definitely not starting from scratch. And even if you were, we're building a toolkit that's significantly easier for people to pick up on. By the end of the day, the goals that the toolkit is trying to accomplish haven't changed, right? The people who use the toolkit hasn't necessarily changed. We're trying to calculate good footprints and reduce the impact of productions. That's still exactly the same. The new toolkit will just do that better. I'm working across a few productions at the moment. How do I know which toolkit each one should be using?
You can download our handy decision tree on BAFTAalbert.org, and that will help you really quickly see, based on when you're TXing, when your start and finish dates are, which toolkit you should be using, whether it's the current tool or the Next Generation Toolkit.
I'm just going to pick one more out here. I'm so busy, I don't have time to learn a whole new toolkit. Where do I start?
So we have a dedicated landing page on our website, BAFTAalbert.org, around the Next Generation Toolkit. It really quickly tells you about the most important parts of the toolkit, what this change looks like, and how it will affect you. So I'd really encourage you to take a look at that. You'll be able to also see, when you have time, what's coming, if you are applying under the new certification or you want to submit a footprint in the Next Generation Toolkit. But if you're really busy and you're already deeply engaged in the current toolkit, you can continue. We'll be providing more training and more resources to bring you up to speed around the key changes and the things that will make it easier and for you to think about priority actions for better impact, but all of that will be a journey and a process that we'll be taking everybody on.
I think we've answered other ones that are a little bit similar to this, so I don't want to repeat what I've said about like a lot of the mental models being the same, but I just want to say the new toolkit has definitely been built acknowledging the fact that the people who use it are busy and don't necessarily have the time to dedicate to like training and learning a whole product, and so it's just made really, really simple and approachable and accessible, and a lot more straightforward and streamlined.
I think that's actually a really important thing to get across, is that everything that we've been doing has been trying to balance the need for greater impact, but not at the expense of losing people and only retaining a really small group of keen, enthusiastic, sustainability champions in the industry. This toolkit is for everybody, and we want to keep everybody engaged. We just want to level that up, and we want to make that as easy as possible.
And that's actually a really important part of how we approached the discovery part of this project, like actually involving production teams on the ground in a lot of our research, testing a lot of our designs and workflows with them, making sure that this actually makes sense and fits in with what people are doing day to day on set and in production offices. So yeah, I'm really confident that this isn't going to be a huge learning experience for teams just because of how close we've stayed to them on the ground as we've been building and designing everything. My production doesn't start until 2027. Is there anything I should be doing now?
Definitely. So we've shared all of the new certification criteria. We've also shared our brilliant data tracker that you can start if you are doing anything that will result in a carbon footprint today. You can start to populate that data tracker or understand more about how your workflow might be affected in 2027 in terms of data collection and responsibilities. But also because we've got the new criteria now available, you can start to think about, what do you want to prioritize? What is the action plan that you want to own as a production, and how does that affect the activities happening across departments throughout the production? So there's a lot of things that you can be thinking about that are really simple at their heart. How do you do better around the data collection, around key environmental impact actions, and then how do you build in kind of that accountability and responsibility as you're entering in pre-production. All right, let's do another one. My production is already in progress. Does the Next Generation Toolkit change anything for us?
Interesting. If a production is already in progress, then I would guess that you have some kind of data collection that is happening, and I would hope that that data collection is happening on the new BAFTA Albert carbon footprint data tracker, because if you are collecting your data in there, then you will be able to upload that in a click onto the new system as soon as that is available on the 16th of September. However, if you have been entering that data into the current toolkit already, I would say based on when your production is ending, you will be looking at either submitting that footprint for certification on the current toolkit, or you might be thinking about how you move that data across into the new toolkit. Now, to know exactly what you will need to do, I would say, again, go on the website and look up the sunsetting guidance and the toolkit transition decision tree, which will actually give you really, really scenario-specific instructions for what you need to do with your data. But if your production is already in progress, I would say anything you are doing to prepare for the certification, whether that's pre-approval or full certification, evidence you might be collecting, the vast majority of that is not going to change. There isn't a whole new set of criteria that will render everything you've already done invalid. But just go on the website and have a look at what the new certification criteria looks like as well, just in case. Our team already has a system for tracking everything. Do we really need to switch to the new BAFTA Albert data tracker?
No, you don't. So if you have a great system that's working for you and you're happy with that system, then crack on. The data tracker is designed to make it a lot easier for people to gather complete data. There are things in there that over time you may consider integrating into your workflow, but the short answer is you don't need to switch. If you have a process that works for you, you can stick to it. But I would encourage you to take a look and see how this might change for you in time.